No, 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 no. This is an art gallery, my friend. And this is a piece of art.
In a world full of blockbusters, superhero movies have taken over the game. There are multiple franchises erupting and many universes expanding. Then there is Unbreakable. If you told me 10 years ago that we would have a follow-up to a niche film like Unbreakable, I wouldn't have believed it. For the simple reason that this movie flew above many people's heads. Just last week I was recommending this movie to one of my friends who had never heard of it before. It's frustrating, but it's true. Unbreakable came out in the year 2000, was received with mixed reviews from critics, though the movie itself didn't do that bad, grossing $248 million on a $75 million budget. But why did it take this long to continue the story? Why wasn't the movie a sensation back then? And why does its sequels have now the appeal it didn't? Let's talk about that. Speaking with IGN during Comic-Con last year, director M. Night Shyamalan talked about how making 3 movies was always his plan, but due to the not so great reception to the movie, he gave up and moved on to other projects. When I made Unbreakable, I kind of intended to do 3 movies. Just in my head, I was thinking to do that. It was just such a weird reaction to the movie. It wasn't received well at that time. I just felt hurt, so I moved on. Unbreakable also came out the same year as the first X-Men movie, the 2 movies being only a few months apart, with Unbreakable coming right after it later that year. Both films had similar budgets, similar runtimes, and a similar box office gross, but yet X-Men turned into a franchise and Unbreakable didn't. X-Men was universally praised, and at that point in time, critical reception was crucial for comic book movies, as they were not as popular as they are today. Which brings me to the question that always bugged me. Why wasn't this movie a critical success, and why was the audience so underwhelmed by it? Let me first read a few reviews just to give you a perspective. So let's read some of these critics and see what they were saying about Unbreakable. It's pretty hardcore. The big surprise ending of Unbreakable is what a disappointment it is. The characters, especially Willis's, are drab and uninteresting, and the story, even allowing for the supernatural overtone, is unconvincing. Really? The whole magic fails to rematerialize thanks to an overwrought melodrama and contrived plot developments. Okay. The dialogue has more poses than a high school production of Samuel Beckett. Who's that? And while that works up to a point, you find yourself wanting to grab the characters and shake them out of their introspective stupors. This looks like a very smart man. I don't even know if all these criticisms are from the exact same year it came out, but if not, they are at least very similar. As for audiences, it's pretty simple why it didn't click with them back then. The movie was simply weird.
No, 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 no.
Unbreakable was a movie that revolved around the ideas of superheroes in real life. Yet, there are rape scenes, a kid pointing a gun at his father, parents getting killed, kids getting tied up, our main hero strangling someone to death. Of course it wasn't going to work. What was even the audience for the film back then? Because people who would even be interested in superhero films in the early 2000s were kids. The ones who would drag their parents to the theater to see Spider-Man swing around and the X-Men fight bad guys in leather suits. Unbreakable was doomed to fail, but only temporarily, because art never fades away. It only gets better with time.
It's a piece of art.
Today, in the time where superhero movies have taken different turns to keep the genre alive, we have had comic book movies incorporating other genres from crime thriller to western and even horror. I think this is the time a movie like Unbreakable should have come out, because it was just ahead of its time back then. And Shyamalan realized that, and that's why in 2016 he released the movie Split with James McAvoy. The unofficial sequel to Unbreakable, or we could say the next installment in the Unbreakable universe, was released. A movie Shyamalan had in mind for over a decade, but felt the world wasn't ready for his vision. Unbreakable is a psychological / drama thriller, while Split is more of a mystery / thriller. Both movies look like they could very well coexist in the same world. That's why, when the ending reveals that they are indeed connected, it made a lot of sense. Unbreakable and Split are both character studies. Unbreakable closely studying the characters of David Dunn and Elijah Price, and Split following closely Kevin and his 23 personalities. Unbreakable has a runtime of 1 hour and 46 minutes. The movie is an exploration of the possibility of superheroes being real, existing in the real world, yet there is only one fight scene. It is very brief and happens in a small bedroom. Same for Split, where the big action happens mostly during the third act. These are not movies made for entertainment only. Yes, they are very entertaining in their own way, but the only way you can find enjoyment in watching them is if you are invested in the stories Shyamalan is telling you about these characters. You can only rewatch Unbreakable if you were invested in the dialogue the first time you watched it. If the story of Mr. Glass and David Dunn fascinates you. And this is why I'm excited about Glass. I want this movie to follow the previous two films and focus on the character interactions and the stories. What makes them different or alike? Unbreakable was a unique and ambitious film which made me appreciate Shyamalan's vision. Glass needs to succeed at all costs because that could mean an implosion for a different kind of superhero franchise. A franchise that's not Marvel or DC. A superhero franchise that stands on its own. An Unbreakable franchise. What's up guys, and Happy New Year to everyone. I hope your year has started well, and I hope you are as excited for Glass as I am. And if you like this, please click on the like button and click on the subscribe button. That will help me a lot. And my next video should come in a couple of weeks maybe. And until then, take care.